Good morning, everybody. It's Monday at 6 o'clock a.m. in Massachusetts, and happy Memorial Day. Um, I I absolutely love doing Facebook Live, and as I was lying in bed last night and even this morning, I was thinking about what I wanted to share with you. And it's always easy. It's really always easy to be able to speak to you guys, the Nourish Mama community, about how to reconnect with your inner truth so that you can parent from a place of fullness rather than feeling that you're either lost, like you don't have solutions to problems that you're facing, or that you're stressed out and you are hitting up against the same stressors day after day. What that can lead to is actually more stress. And so I like to share bits and pieces about what's going on in my life with you so that you can see how I use my own skills to flip situations around. And I call that when we're stressed out and we don't know the situation, and we reach and we use our brain actually to try to figure it out, it can actually end up being a challenge, because the mind is actually limited with thought patterns that have already been created. And so women and men are creators, which means that we are supposed to evolve. We are supposed to be able to use our intuition. We're supposed to be able to use our inner truth, which is our connection to ourself and our self-love, to be able to move through life gracefully, peacefully, and solution orientated, meaning we're able to find easy solutions to things. But the thing that has backed us up for so long is that we actually have a love wound, and that love wound it's part of what has been our legacy for women and for men, is that we have this separation from ourself. And so part of my job, actually my job, my service, is to help women heal this love wound with themselves, so that they fully accept themselves, so that they fully love themselves, so that they can become the creator that they were actually born to create. And so what that means is that you and me, we get to choose whether or not we want to create the life that we want rather than the life that we live. And this is a really big choice. This is a really big deal. And it's a lot of fun to be a creator. And so what I want to talk about today is I want to talk about where our separation from love, and kind of not even where it came from, but what is happening as a result of that. And I want to talk about trust as being a really big indicator that you're separated from your inner truth, and your inner truth is love. And then I hopefully, if I can stay on track, want to share what exactly can happen when you do connect. Sorry, I just had to turn up my volume. When you do connect with inner truth, which is love. So the truth is that we are all born to be peaceful. We are all born to be sovereign, and we are all born to be free. And what has happened is we have believed through our set of circumstances that we have to be a certain way, or that that we're worthy of, say, a certain relationship, or that, we have to give our children, we have to treat our children a certain way. or that we have to be in a certain job, right? Because, this is what I went to school for. These are just all quick little bits, but trust seems to be coming up a lot lately in whether or not moms have enough belief in themselves to trust that they're actually worthy enough to be able to walk this path. And trust is a huge indicator of whether or not you have self-worth, right? If you don't believe that you are worthy enough to go for your dreams, then that means that you need to work on self-love. And self-love and self-worth go back to, where did you stop believing that you were worth it, or that your family was worth it, or that your spouse was worth going for something? I feel a sneeze brewing. I'm just letting you know. And as I wait for this to kind of percolate, it's funny because this is so funny, like everything in my life is a metaphor, but the sneeze, like it feels like it wants to come out, but it's not. So I feel like it's an indicator actually of somebody who's watching, or somebody who will watch, who is actually struggling with something and is not feeling worthy enough of connecting or reaching out to me, for fear that you're going to be judged for doing something wrong. Well, that fear of being judged for doing something wrong is a story that's connected to however somebody else treated you. And, it's all part of you not feeling like you have a voice. And so that's tied to oppression. And when women's voices are not heard and seen, and I feel this like really sharp pain in the back of my shoulders, which I know is not mine, it means that you're holding something inside that actually needs to come out, which is why I can't sneeze. I know it sounds crazy, but as an energetic teacher and as a healer, specifically for moms, I understand how the energy of these situations work. And so what I want to just share with you today is a story that, just a quick story about my daughter. My oldest daughter is, she's very bright, but she tends to hold back her feelings until she starts to treat people, really horribly. And I can always tell that there's something behind it. And so what I do with her is I connect with her and energetically I'm able to help her, pop the energy through so it becomes no longer hers, right? She doesn't hold it inside of her. And that always leads to more joy. That always leads to more growth. And so one of the things that we've been working on with her is, in the transition she made from public school to Montessori school in the middle of the school year, she struggled with, because of Montessori school, the education is very, very layered, for a reason, so that it can bring out different parts of the children's learning and education and social aspect and emotional aspect. It's a really wonderful model. And she was struggling with that. And, one thing that we talked about was that there's always a plan. There's always a plan that you can follow in her classroom that can help her stay on target. So her anxiety was coming from having too many choices, or to finish something and then move on to something else. So that was her challenge. And so what her teachers and I worked with her with was asking for help. And when she asked for help, she was feeling like it was a sign of weakness to ask for help because the other kids seemed to understand it. And what I'm sharing this with you because asking for help actually allowed her to grow. She was given a plan and she followed the plan, And her teachers commented in her last conference, which was last week, that her asking for help was an extraordinary gift and a sign of strength. And what a wonderful gift for a child to learn not to fear being wrong, right? And I just have to say that I still have this underlying fear of, oh my gosh, I'm going to be wrong if I ask for help. And what I've realized is as I work with a community of teachers and coaches, that asking for help actually gives me the opportunity to experience more in my life and to grow more. And here's why here's why it's important for one of you to hear this, or all of you, is that when you are feel worthy of asking for help, you actually get exactly what you need. And if you are struggling with any aspect of your relationship with your husband or your spouse, if you're struggling with any problem relationship with your children, it is all a derivative of a relationship with yourself and a lack of inner love. Okay, this is truth. This is a universal truth. This is part of what the work that I'm here to do with families on the planet, and this is an extraordinary opportunity for somebody to hear this and to stop being afraid of reaching out for help, to stop fearing that there's going to be a judgment, and to know that there is actually going to be a plan. And that plan will help you grow in love and trust of yourself, so that you can love and trust more fully others around you. And that creates really amazing relationship bonds with those around you. And that is really something that I had this conversation with David yesterday about having a choice of whether or not you want to continue to do things old way, which actually creates separation and a tremendous amount of stress, or the new pathway is to actually take responsibility for where there is a lack inside of yourself, and to fill that with self-love and self-worthiness, and doing that with the assistance of somebody, because the accountability factor of trying to go anything alone, especially when you're dealing with a legacy of how women have treated themselves, and that's tied to oppression. That's tied to feeling like you don't have a voice, feeling like you don't have a choice, and otherwise feeling stuck, right? When you feel stuck, that's actually causes stress, but stress is the indicator. Stress is the potential that can allow you to grow and expand, but you actually have to have a plan to be able to do it. And so, there are great books out there. There are great meditations that you can listen to, but the truth is that you actually have to have a step-by-step process in order to move through the stress, so it doesn't become a factor in your life anymore. And that is what I do as a coach. It's hard to talk about not loving yourself, or it's hard to talk about where there is a lack of completeness inside of yourself. And it's also hard to continue a life that does not feel good to you. And meaning, if you're not asking for assistance, if you are not eager, here's the thing, if you're not eager to jump on board, right, with asking, then you simply never receive. That's classic of the art of manifestation. If you want to manifest or create a home that is peaceful, if you want to create or manifest an amazing relationship with your spouse, if you want to create and manifest money, then that is all tied to how you value yourself, how important do you believe you are, and whether or not, you truly want this, or if you want to sit on the sidelines and watch. And for me, it was a super easy no-brainer that I wanted it. And there were certainly times in my life where I believed that I couldn't have it. But the more I asked and the more I followed a plan, the more I received. And that is how I ended up creating the life that I dreamed of. And I still create it, and I still encounter stressful situations, and I am able to transform my everyday mom stress into my power, because I flip the situation upside down, and I'm able to find really simple solutions, especially when it comes to solving problems with my children, solving problems with David, and realizing how powerful I am. That wasn't always the case. It's something that I had to learn. And the funny thing is, I was never really a great student until I fell in love with self-love, until I fell in love with coaching, and until I fell in love with trying to help moms create the life that they've always dreamed of. And so as I wrap things up, I just want to share with you, because this is Coffee with Carrie, that I had an amazing cider donut this morning for breakfast and some delicious coffee in my faith mug. There it is. And I'm at David's house this weekend. The kids are with their dad. David and I had a beautiful visit with my family yesterday, and we are probably going to enjoy a quiet day inside in Massachusetts because it looks like it's raining outside. So anyway, that is your Monday morning coffee talk with Carrie, and it looks like Mondays is going to be the day for coffee talk, because I actually forgot to pack my tarot cards with me, so I'll do a reading. Oh, it looks like somebody hopped on. Let's see who it is, and hopped off, so it must not have been somebody who wanted to stay on. That's okay. We have lots of people on this page who just like to check in and see what Carrie's up to, and maybe they're not wanting to be seen. So anyway, if you're ready to be seen, then you can either just keep showing up here. You can subscribe to my page. I believe that there's a link somewhere on this page for you to subscribe, or you can click. You could Facebook message me. Give me some thumbs up just to show that you enjoyed this video. Thanks, everybody, and have a great day.